What's up, guys? Before we get into this episode, I just have to interject. My audio sounds so bad in this episode because I was recording on the road. So if you guys can just forgive how bad my audio sounds in this one, I promise the next episode will sound way better. But yeah, just want to give you guys a warning and a heads up. Otherwise, thank you.
So no intro, bro. Just straight into the action. Or should...
I feel like I just gave all my energy in that previous intro.
Welcome back, everybody, to a
Thank you.
brand new episode. In today's episode, we are talking about the movie "My Life as a Zucchini," or
Courgette.
as my French people would say, "Ma vie de courgette."
Ma vie. Oh, you got the whole thing. Nice.
2 years of French, bro. I know how to pronounce this, so don't play with me. But before we get into that, bro, we had some exciting news that you finally finished My Adventures with Superman Season 2.
Yes.
What were your
And
thoughts,
I
bro?
actually do have one little gripe.
Oh, not a gripe on Superman lore, bro.
Yeah, one little gripe with the whole season. But overall,
Okay.
at one point in the season, did you notice that it just like the plot was just serious the whole time? I felt like season one, there was like simple little adventure episodes.
Yeah.
But as soon as Supergirl got in the mix, things got pretty crazy.
It was almost all about Supergirl and that whole plot line
And Brainiac.
and I think that's what I was telling you, in the previous episode, or like the previous
Yeah.
time we talked about it. I was bringing up all these different things, and one of the plots that I brought up was saying in the first season, what I really liked was they did Superman just doing chill stuff, like fighting the bank robbers and fighting this, like
Yeah.
very chill. And then in season two, like once they introduce like Supergirl, it's like all about Supergirl. What's Supergirl gonna do? And then like for the it's like the final what 5 episodes that kind of has to do with
Yeah.
her.
It's like a 5 episode arc. So you didn't really like that? You'd prefer to go back to Superman stuff?
I think I like the big story because like you said that was one of Superman's like main villains. So I was like, okay, we got to do like a
Yeah.
main villain episode, which was pretty cool. But I mean, I don't mind either or. As long as Superman's in it, like I'm all for it. So I don't care. I don't care if he's just fighting like the
you're
bank robbers or fucking Zod. Like as long as Superman's there.
You're a Superman fan now, bro. I love that
Yeah.
so much. But to talk about some of the lore,
Yeah.
that Brainiac design as well as the Supergirl design are completely different. Mainly just Supergirl's hairstyle and kind of her voice. Like they have her, which makes sense. Like it's more that I think those were lore accurate choices, which I thought were really cool because they start off with her being a warrior. The usual design is she's just like, for lack of a better term, she's just a hot blonde girl who shows up on planet Earth, and she gives off like like cheerleader vibes because even her costume is usually a short skirt, and she has like a crop top, and that's her usual fit even for her first one. But in this, they show her with her warrior outfit that she wears whenever she's conquering planets under Brainiac's control. And even Brainiac's design, he usually looks very. If you're looking at the cartoons, you could say he looks similar to Lex Luthor because he's a green bald guy, but who's also a AI alien who originated from Krypton, and he always does have those 3 dots on his forehead. But in this version, they went all out on the AI robot design, and he's pure robot. Like I don't think I've ever seen, because there has been robot iterations of Brainiac, but I've never seen this type of design where he looks a lot more menacing than he usually does.
Green guy, like
Yeah, with very human aesthetics, just with the 3 dots, or they go to kind of a cyborg looking one, like in the animated Superman series. He looks kind of robotic, but still some human aesthetics. Like he has hands and fingers and legs and stuff like that. But in this one, his fingers look like they're floating. His head is like a whole like different shape, not very not really any human aesthetics when it comes to this design.
because he is kind of like an AI looking thing. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, it just makes sense. Like AI took over and he became this like robot dude, which was pretty cool. So I don't know if I'd like if I saw him like as a normal human, like just looking
Really?
like if he's like supposed to be like a green freaking Martian or
It does look more badass than I'm making it sound. Like I made it sound lame as hell, but he doesn't look.
okay,
He
okay.
still looks pretty menacing. Cause you know how he's supposed to be that genius AI that's very hard to. So he still gives off those vibes, but yeah, he's not. He doesn't look lame. I'll just say that. But so what did you think about season 2 overall? Like that whole arc?
I mean, I thought the build up was pretty cool. I feel like some of the stuff was a little corny, like the Lois Lane arc and like Superman getting his feelings hurt, thinking his friends don't care about him.
Uh huh.
Like that felt a little forced. I was like, bro, come on, dude. Like, are
Yeah, at some point you're like, they didn't say
bro,
that. Why are you like,
like
wait, but did she?
bro, like
No, they
didn't even
didn't.
confront. Like when he heard Lois Lane saying like, "Yeah, Superman's weird," he's like, "She called me weird." Like I was like, "Bro,
Yeah.
Superman, chill, dog. Like you're better than this, bro." Like
Right.
and like even when he thought his friend was like talking mess about him, like, "Bro, you know your friend loves you." Like so a little cheesy, but I get like why. So I was like, okay, whatever. It's a kid's show. I'll get over it, whatever. And like those parts, whatever. But then the whole action fight scene when he's fighting at the end, fighting Kara and like fighting Brainiac,
Uh-huh.
they finally do like the Superman going into the sun scene, which I was waiting for them to do because I remember in the Henry Cavill Superman, he has a scene where he like flies into the sun and like regenerates, right? That's that one.
Uh he does not fly into the sun, but he does regenerate from the
Because
sun's
he's like in
rays.
space though, right? Like he's like floating
Yeah,
and
yeah. He was just hit from an atomic bomb, and that's based off of a comic from The Dark Knight Returns where they hit him with an atomic bomb and he shrivels up like a little raisin, and then the sun has him. He sucks it back up and hydrates or something. But
I, I
yeah,
I
continue.
was waiting for them to do something like that, like or at least hint to the sun powering him up. Because I was like, oh, they're in space. They're definitely
Yeah,
gonna do something along those lines.
yeah. As soon as they flew to the sun, I'm like, they're closer to their power. Like they do this every time. They got if they don't do it, they gotta do it.
Yeah. So that was pretty badass. The team up battle again, badass. So they had a lot of cool fight scenes.
Definitely.
Oh, something that I was also like, bruh, come on, dude. Like freaking Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen when Batman, not Batman, when Superman was in trouble in space, they're like, let's go save him. Us with no powers and no real technology on how to fight him. Let's just hijack a spaceship and like fly around him for like moral support.
But they did have those two geniuses with them.
Yeah, but they didn't mean to have. They like luckily got them on their team though.
That's
Like
true.
their plan was just go in there, try to steal it, and then by luck they ran into them because they did a whole heist. Like Superman gets hijacked, and then she's like, "Yo, let's plan a heist." And then gets all the bad guys, and I was like, "Bro, they're taking forever. Like Superman's dead. If they were trying to save him, something I liked that they did was like Jimmy Olsen's money counter. Like the whole season, they're like
Oh yeah.
showing how much money he has and how much.
That visually shows how fast money goes away because he had five
Yeah,
million and he literally just got like a yacht and something else and
yeah,
then boom 3 million.
yeah.
Damn.
Bro, I
And
really
you're not making more money, so if you're not making more money, that's so
I don't know
fast.
the sound it makes. What is it? The hawks or something? Whatever his
Oh yeah, his little
yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's always so funny. Like every time he mentions it, I'm like, are they gonna do it? And every time they do it, I'm like, hell yeah. That's so satisfying. When are they gonna make season three though? That's where I was like at the end because I was like,
I'm pretty sure season 2 just came out.
really? Season two already?
Yeah.
That
I could have swore
sucks.
they maybe wrapped season 2 like last year, but even if they
Yeah.
did, that means we still got at least another year or two before season 3 comes out.
hate that, bro. I hate when shows take forever, bro. Like, I
I
swear,
know.
as a kid growing up, bro, we always had our shows on. Like we were never like, oh my god, they don't have our show on. We're watching Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, but I guess they had the reruns. But still, we always felt like we had our shows, and now it's like
Yeah.
you gotta wait years for your shows. Stranger
I know.
Things,
I never remembered waiting for any TV show
right?
when I was
Yeah,
younger.
they just came out. They're freaking gatekeeping us, bro.
So I loved it overall
Yeah,
because the music, the fight scenes, um, I usually I completely give Superman a pass on being corny because I think you with Superman it's better if you embrace the corniness, because I feel like when some people try to uh they're ashamed of it or embarrassed to be that, like you said, like beacon of hope and all that. I feel like that just comes with the territory of Superman. So I'm very lenient when it comes to that because if they try to be less corny, I feel like it'll always seep into the other things that you want him to be corny in, and it'll kind of uh, stain the rest of the scenes where I want him to be a really good, just cheesy farm boy from Kansas. But the one time where I was like, this is a little too much was when him and Lois were punching up at the screen because it just went on a little
generic.
bit when they were in like Clark's mind and they were giving a speech. He's like, "You didn't count on us. We're best friends, and then we always do." Because at first it was fine, but I just thought like one they weren't struggling enough, so it didn't seem as cool as it should have been because it was just her for like a minute straight saying like you didn't count on us being the greatest team ever and we when we put our hands together our hearts can. I'm like, okay, like wrap it up. Yeah, exactly. Believe it. Like I just thought it went on for like maybe 30 seconds too long. I thought they could have used one good line and left it at that. Besides that, I didn't, or I loved the whole season. The whole season two was pretty fire to me. I thought they did even better with the music because when you mentioned that they did good with the music in the last time we talked about it, I think you were referring to season two because there was a lot of unique music in season two when they were fighting. It reminded me of the Spider Verse like a lot with the design of it.
I feel like most episodes were nice. I think I had like two episodes where I kind of didn't care about. The mind one, I kind of didn't really care about.
Yeah.
And then the episode where they introduced the gorilla and that weird scientist, I didn't really care about. But other than that, I feel like every episode was pretty good
Yeah.
and like pretty engaging too.
Pretty solid show. I'd recommend to any DC fans who are looking for a new but still a new take on a DC superhero, but still sticks to the core of everything. Because even with Supergirl, I loved that they found a new way to introduce her, but still keep it to like her story. Like she was grown up on Krypton, so her and Clark don't see eye to eye, and I thought they did that excellently. Did you know they're filming a Supergirl movie right now?
Supergirl movie, what?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's connected to the Superman movie that's coming out.
James Gunn's making this one.
No, but he approved the script and everything like that, so it's in James Gunn's universe.
So is that how it works when you're like the new director over the cinematic universe? Like someone brings you an idea and then you're like approved, denied. Because like is he basically the new John Favreau of DC?
So, do you mean it's not John Favreau, it's someone else. Some other guy. He wears a hat all the time. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
really care about him, but he approves. And so that's what cuz he's heading it and that's kind of what he said verbatim was that if the script is not good, then it's not going to be included in the DC universe. Because I think sometimes in Marvel, they would map out, okay, we're going to do these movies and let's hope those movies turn out good. But with him, he's more like he blatantly said, if the script is not good, we're not putting out that movie. And so script comes first for him.
Because in the Marvel, they were just making movies at first
Yeah.
before they like tied them all in, and then they tied everything in together. Versus now, I wonder if like that's what the direction that like superhero movies just kind of have to go. Where like if you create a Superman movie, you have to create the Batman and link them together, and then link the Flash together. Versus like just having standalone movies probably won't be a thing anymore in like superhero movies.
That's actually what I really like about James Gunn's new universe, because along with approving the scripts, he also verbatim said that he wants to focus on individual stories and have that wider, like, overarching, we all come together to be the Justice League, to have that be not the most important thing, to where you can watch this movie and it's not you're watching it because it leads up to another one. He wants every individual movie to stand on its own and be a contained story.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to make a new Wonder Woman and then a new Batman and then a new Cyborg. Because you said he's starting all over, right? Not like even the Patterson's Batman is scrapped, also, right?
No, no, he's not scrapped.
Oh wait, he's
So
going to make it as the main Batman?
no.
Oh,
So he explained that DC will basically have two universes in the theaters, and one will be considered Elseworlds, as in this is just in another universe. You don't have to think about it connecting to the main one. And so, for example, that is the Joker movie and Robert Pattinson's Batman. And Matt Reeves announced that he has just finished the script for his second Batman movie, so that's still greenlit and happening. And so for Elseworld stuff, I'm pretty sure he's giving them 100% creative freedom, since it doesn't relate to his universe. So if that movie flops or does amazing, it doesn't have any effect on his little child.
because we've been talking about Superman for the past 4 episodes. But that just
They're
shows,
not
guys, we're
gonna.
freaking, at least me. I've been in my Superman era, bro. It's like my new, what's that, hobby?
Your new
My new
hobby,
superhero
bro.
hobby.
Just wait
But
till you hear the movie I got that we're watching next.
is it Superman?
You'll see. You'll see. I'm gonna surprise you.
Speaking of movies, bro, do we have a movie to talk about?
Je m'appelle movie.
Je m'appelle Julien et toi?
Je m'appelle Courgette.
Oh, la vie de la courgette.
De la
Yes.
Courgette.
Let's get right into it. My Life as a Zucchini, or Ma Vie la Courgette, is a movie that was directed by a director named Claude Badius. And so this movie, obviously, stop motion film. It took 2 years to make. This movie was based off a book, Autobiographe d'un Courgette. So kind of similar Courgette. This was his first like being director of a movie. Obviously, it was done in French, where he's from. This movie had a budget of $7 million, but it only grossed 5.8 mil box
Oh dang!
office.
He lost the studio $2 million.
Yes, so he lost some money, but just because he lost him some money doesn't mean this movie wasn't a hit. Because for some way or another, this movie got 99% on Rotten Tomatoes,
I'd
which is
say it's
like,
not his fault that the movie didn't make money. Because if you make it like fucking impossible to watch on any streaming platform,
bro,
you can't blame
yes,
him.
bro. We guys, it took me and Anthony like a freaking arm and a leg to find this movie
We had to go to the
anywhere,
dark web
bro.
to
Like,
get this movie.
you should have seen me, bro. What my Google search history, like for like 10 tabs in a row, is me. Uh, my life as a zucchini English. My life as a zucchini English subtitles. My life as a zucchini French with English subtitles, HD, 1080p, 720p, bro. I was getting desperate, bro. I went down to 720p,
Get
bro.
desperate. I watch
Bro,
anything. I watch anything.
yes. So it was so hard to find this movie, bro. And like I was on Reddit forums and I was like reading the Reddit forums and where people were watching it and they were dropping links. And then I would click the link and then the link would take me to nothing. I was like, bro. And then eventually I think I just went to 1, 2, 3 movies, bro, and it was on there. So one, two,
Yeah,
three
Rihanna,
movies saved the day, bro.
you're into some underground shit because this was literally. I think unless you're looking for it, there's no way you're gonna be able to watch this movie.
Yeah, like how are you gonna run into this movie? Like, there's actually no way you just stumble across this on Netflix or nothing. Like, it's impossible.
I'm not gonna lie, just because it's hard to get, that kind of makes me want to get like the Blu-ray or something, because
It
it'll be
makes you
like,
want to
yeah,
what?
get the Blu-ray, because I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
this is underground shit.
Get the
You
Steelbook
can't
or
get this.
something.
Yeah, you can't get this anywhere.
What you know about this? You know how rare this is? You know how rare this
Try to
is, huh?
watch it. Try to watch it.
What you know about
Look it up.
this? Try to find it.
Yeah,
Dare
try to
you.
find it. I dare you.
I bet you can't.
Look, see, it's actually on Amazon for $15.
Oh,
Okay, but anyway,
Blu-ray?
yeah. So it is available. You just can't stream it anywhere
Yeah, you
because
can't
the
stream
rights
it.
are expired.
We went on tangent just on the movie. Synopsis of La Vie d'un Courgette. This movie follows a 9-year-old boy, Courgette, nicknamed Zucchini. After his mother's disappearance, Courgette is befriended by a police officer, Raymond, who accompanies him to his new foster home filled with other orphans his age. At first, he struggles to find his place in this strange and at times hostile environment. Yet, with Raymond's help and his newfound friends, Courgette eventually learns to trust and might even find true love. Basically, this little boy, Courgette, spoilers, his mother
Courgette.
his mother dies, bro. Like that's
I
not
thought
funny. That's not funny. Okay.
I was about to say
It's
I
not
know
funny.
it's fucked up, but I laughed. I was like, he just went like, no. He said no, and then he closed it on her.
Oh my god, bro, that's not funny. But the fact that it happens like in the first 5 minutes, it's like I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
I
Like,
know.
like I okay, wait, real quick. But yeah, basically the boy goes to adoption home and he has to become friends with these new orphans. So synopsis done. But yeah,
Yeah.
basically, bro, when the movie started and like they show a drunk mom and all this stuff, I'm like, what could this movie possibly
Yeah.
be about? Like,
It was
that's
pretty dark.
like off the rip. I'm like, what? What could it be about? And then, yeah, not funny at all. But in the first 5 minutes, his mom just dies, and it's like the way he like slams the thing and it just falls.
I
Like
know.
I was like, oh my god, these animators, bro, they had to animate that scene, and it was kind of.
I can't lie. Like I did laugh. I couldn't help myself. I was just like, oh, oh,
Oh no,
oh, no.
that's so funny. But bro, I was just something like that we kind of talked about in Millennium Actress was like how long does it take to make a movie like this? It took them 2 years to make a 1 hour movie. It's just kind of crazy. Like something I was doing the whole movie was just paying attention to like other pieces of the set to try to see if like I noticed something like slightly move or like if they might have messed up a little bit and like this
Yeah.
little prop just moves back randomly. Like that's something that I was trying to pay attention to the whole movie, which kind of
So
distracted me
you're
a little
like,
bit.
I'm gonna find where you fucked up.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out where
Why?
I don't
Why
know.
would you watch a movie like
Like
that?
I know that took away from my watching experience, but bro, that's like when you watch a sitcom or something, and then they're holding a glass and like they're gonna take a sip, and then they
But those
cut
are an
away.
accident. You said you were actively like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna make sure I find whatever you did
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. But it's like because the stop animation is crazy. They did, I think it was 12 frames per second. They had to move 12 different times in 1 second, which is kind of
I
crazy.
I thought you were gonna say more because I thought the movement was very smooth and I thought the animation looked like really clean.
Maybe for like stop animation, 12 is like a good amount.
Yeah, I wonder what the norm is.
Something I was going to talk to you about this movie. Yes, there was a story, right? And it took you on like a little journey. But I think the story was kind of boring. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like,
I thought you were gonna say more because I thought the movement was very smooth and I thought the animation looked like really clean.
maybe for like stop animation 12 is like a good amount. Some thing I was going to talk to you about this movie. Yes, there was a story, right? And it took you on like a little journey, But
Uh-huh.
at the end, it's like, what was the point of this movie? You know what I mean? Like,
What?
I know,
You didn't understand the point of the movie?
I kind of not really. Like, was it just about an orphan boy and like him getting adopted? Is that kind of? I know that's the story, but I'm like,
Yeah.
is that it?
So you might be thinking about this how you thought about that other movie like Millennium Actress. You're wondering like what's the objective here when it's more like let's explore the characters and the environment and develop them and have them learn and become, better people.
And that's just supposed to be the whole point of the movie. Like, these kids are in this scenario, they're gonna be better kids by the end of it or something. Because at the end, I just like I just kind of felt like okay, I watched that like that was a movie. Like yeah, you feel bad for these kids and like the situations they go through, and it's like yeah, but I don't know why at the end I was just like really like especially that's how it ends like
I thought the point of the movie was to develop the characters, because uh so in the beginning of the movie you basically start off with a conflict, and the main conflict is he is um he's at a new or it's his first time at an orphanage, and he seems to be getting bullied, right? Then that's like the main conflict. Then what happens there? We see him start to actually develop a relationship with his bully, and I thought that was very unique to go there because I thought it was gonna the plot of the movie was gonna be him trying to survive a fucked up orphanage where they like the kids are horrible to him the whole time, and he's the one good guy. And I love that they were able to introduce you to all the different characters and have you learn about them so that they're not just plain orphan kids, but they all exhibited different types of trauma based off of how they became an orphan. So you do see that black little girl, she's constantly coming back, expecting her mom to come back. And then the kid, the main bully, his parents were drug addicted. The main character accidentally killed his mom, and another one was it was implied that she was sexually assaulted. So you even see that in her character design, in the fact that she kind of hides her face in a way that she's like shelling herself off. And I think I really like the way they developed those characters because I feel like they were not I guess not relatable, but they felt like real people to me. Like I was able to suspend my disbelief where I was invested in their stories.
okay, so it was just more of like a building on these characters and have sympathy for their situation type of movie.
Exactly, but then it also brings up certain conflicts and problems that you get to. So after it's done developing the characters, I felt like that's just to get you invested in them, so that once they are faced with certain challenges, then you start to root for them, which was the journey that I felt because once you see him befriend that new orphan girl, then you see the other bully get jealous and you start to question like, okay, where's this gonna go? Is he gonna like immediately turn on them? Because you do feel like he's hostile, which he is. And then you see her kind of hold her own with her wits against him, with the way they like she kind of brushes off everything that he throws at her. Once she's introduced, that kind of brings the main character out of his own shell, as well as some other people, because she moves the hair out of that girl's face, and I think she does kind of gets the cart going. So in a way, I feel like when the main character is introduced, he kind of brings them together, but for them to start moving forward as a group to where they really connect, I feel like that's what the girl did. As soon as she's introduced, the cart of this family is really starts to move forward, because when they go to that little retreat, you see them all connect, and it ends with like a snow fight of all of them together, and then the family is solidified. And that's kind of like the second act of the movie. First act is set up all the characters, develop them, and so you know who they are. Then second act is bring all the characters together so you think of them as a family. And then the third act is how are they going to keep the family from breaking apart?
I could understand like everything you said, right? Like
Yeah.
I can get it, and like I'm pretty sure I noticed that exact theme that you said. Like the
Uh-huh.
beginning, it is introducing, and the
Yeah,
second
like
one,
none of that went over your head or anything.
but then at the end, I'm just like, bro, like I don't know,
So
like, am I
it didn't
heartless?
connect with you?
Like, dude,
Are you
I
heartless?
felt nothing at the end, bro. If anything,
Really?
I didn't think it was like horrible. Like, I'm not like, oh, this
Yeah.
movie sucked, because I mean, the stories were like pretty touching. Like they touched on some like pretty sad things, and like you feel bad for these little kids, and especially having little siblings, you kind of feel bad, like if any of them were to become orphaned, and like, these kids are just like casual, like, yeah, my mom died. She's a drug addict. They just say it like, if it's like,
Yeah.
another day, and so it's like, damn, like, you feel really bad for these kids, and I'm just like, okay, like I just feel bad for these kids, and then
You feel like that was it?
I just felt like stuff was just kind of happening, but to me,
Yeah.
I just felt like I don't know why it felt like scrambled. Like it felt like a lot was kind of happening.
I actually did get that same feeling, which is kind of what I was going to talk about as well, because the first half of the movie especially feels like that. You just kind of feel like, where's this going exactly? And you don't really know.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think at to the point where the girl's introduced, like in the second act, and she starts to bring the family together, and then the question of, I think at that point that's when I got invested, because that's when you see how the mom is trying to remove her, because
Yeah.
then immediately it popped in my question like, okay, let's say she does stay there. Is that a happy ending that they get to stay in the orphanage and they don't get a parent? And then it showed how that parent was a piece of shit. Then I'm thinking, okay, I clearly don't want her to go with her now because she is a money grubbing little.
I agree because I think exactly where you said right when she was introduced, I felt like there was an actual plot for me to
Yeah.
follow, and I
Yeah.
and I know like some movies are not supposed to be about the plot or whatever, but like like right there it's like boom, there's a villain established. Like immediately I wrote down I hate this aunt. I hate her, and like she was like a little biatch,
She
and I
was.
was rooting so hard when they got her exposed, with the iPod. I was like, hell yeah, like they got that girl, and she just like
Yeah.
runs out, and I
Very
was like,
satisfying.
yes, okay,
The only reason any of those scenes are satisfying, I think, is because you develop the characters. Like, I at that point, were you not thinking like, I really want her to get caught, or like, fuck yeah, like fuck her, I did not want her to take these children? Because you have to care about those children a little bit in order for you to
yeah,
care about
that's
her
true.
getting taken away.
I could see that because they did have to build up like the whole thing, but I was like that it took me like almost 40 minutes to finally get engaged into the movie, which
Yeah.
the whole first 40 minutes is like I'm searching in the dark for like randoms. And so like I
Uh-huh.
guess, now looking back, I understand that it's just like character building is what they're doing for like
Yeah.
this last second plot. But it's kind of hard when you don't know what's kind of happening. You're watching it for the first time. And so yeah, like I guess it was a very satisfying moment because you do like the girl and you don't want her to, freaking be abused by her
Yeah.
aunt, and
You
it looked
also
like.
understand what she means to like the other orphan kids.
So yeah, that made sense to me, right? But then the ending also had me like tripped up, and I want to hear what you think. Like, is Camille and like Courgette not like boyfriend and girlfriend, or like, and then they get adopted? Like, is that not going to be like weird? Like, am I like looking in too deep to that? Because
I think you're both right and wrong, because they are just like, you're not wrong, because you think about, okay, what happens if they grow up in the same house. Isn't that a little problematic that you have two people who date each other? Like you're, but I think you're supposed to not look that far into it because, like Kaylin said, they are just children. So it's like I think you're supposed to look at it through their lens because through what it means to them. So like I said, I think you're both right because I thought the same thing. But if you think about how their story just ends there, I think you're not supposed to think about what happens after that. You're more supposed to be. I think they intend you. The intention is for you to be satisfied with the fact that they get a happy ending together.
Because like I thought they were setting up like a love plot with them, like the whole
Yeah,
movie. Like he's holding her hand and I don't know all this stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, they're setting up a love plot for these 10-year-olds. And then so like at the end I was just like, okay, now they're adopted by the same guy. Okay, like what was the whole point of
yeah. They're
introducing that
technically
like
brother
love?
sister now.
Yeah, like what was the whole point of introducing the love element of the
They're
movie?
French. They're French.
Yeah, it's true. Bonjour,
That's
mademoiselle.
but I was gonna say I do also think you're completely justified in feeling a little lost because I've only seen two other French films that I can name off the top of my head. One is called La Haine, and the other is called Anatomy of a Fall. And in both of those movies, you get the yeah, this might be the way French films are made because in both of those movies, you start off with a lot of character building and you're not exactly sure where the film is going exactly. But by the end, in all three of these films, I completely felt like I learned about the characters and it was kind of a reflection of life, but at the same time showing you like the silver lining in these darker situations, which both Lahane and Anatomy of a Fall end up doing really well. But that's what I liked about this film the most is I felt like they were able to find that silver lining in this really dark story and dark situation because all the kids were like super abused and so much like death is surrounded them and then this horrible woman's gonna take them away. But the way they wrapped it up in the end, it was really satisfying to me because as soon as they left the bully and he just kind of washed them away and he even told them like none of us get this opportunity, you have to go. And he even like that's like so selfless of him. And as soon as he closed the gate and just walked slowly back, I low key started to tear up because I was just like, fuck, like of course you get left behind. Like that just breaks my heart to see that little kid, watch two people, yeah, just watch two people get to live their best lives as he goes back to his and then he even tells them he's even selfless till the very end because he tells all the other kids like, "Oh, I'm gonna distract them from the situation because I don't want them to feel sad." And he's like, "Let's race!" And the first one to da and they're immediately all happy. And you see him kind of walk back slowly because he did that just to distract them from the situation. Like that just broke my heart.
It's a very sad scene because especially that character, you can understand like the character like that, gone through stuff. He puts up
Oh,
his walls, and he was like throughout the movie, like he was he they should like as soon as they introduced him, he's like this little dickwad, and you're
yeah,
just like you're like, what the heck's this guy's problem? And then they have the next scene where they're outside talking, and then it's like, oh, he's like he's gone through some stuff, and then
yeah.
but then he's mean again sometimes, and then he's nice again, and it's like at the end they just
That's
show his true side where he's like
yeah.
softy, like he actually
He
cared
puts
about
on
them.
a hard exterior. That's what you call
Yeah,
a three-dimensional character. Like he doesn't just have one stereotypical side to him. He has layers, and that's what makes characters, in my opinion, feel like real people is when they're not just one thing. Like, oh, I'm the bully, or I'm the nice guy, or I prefer to see people who have multiple sides to them and that show off like what matters to them and what they care about. And he might be my favorite character in the whole film because he had the most depth to him.
I feel like they kind of showed his character the most of like him in different situations or doing different things, and even even going to like as far as like go breaking into the principal's office to like check the files, like he's trying to help his
Uh,
boy out.
and even send the MP3 player to her to like save her. You know, that's not even his girl, but he's thinking like I'm gonna
For his
help y'all out.
boy.
Yeah, like he's a real one.
And that's
He's a real
meta
real one.
thinking, bro. Dude thought like 10 steps ahead, bro. He was like, you know, hey, if you're ever in this situation, like record and then we're gonna show it. And then, you wonder like why he gave her the MP3 and then they show it like the next scene and
Yeah.
they're like, this dude's a G, bro. Like,
He was playing chess. That woman was playing checkers.
heck yeah, bro.
Yeah,
I
he is
mean,
the hero of the story.
I guess that is true. He is like that true MVP of the whole thing because they start
Yeah.
him off as the villain too, and he has like
Yeah.
the ultimate. It's not even like a redemption arc. You just start to see him for like the type of person he is, which I guess could be a redemption arc, but it's like that's just him, like he
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
doesn't want to be a meanie patoony boy. Like he's just trying to be there for his friends and all that, which
Yeah. Just trying to
super
survive
sad. Super
in a
sad.
shitty situation.
I think the stop motion animation was like taking some of my focus away, but
You're trying to find all the imperfections in the
yeah,
stop
like
motion.
when I was looking at all the little details they did, I'm like, bro, like the scene where he's stacking the cans and like
Oh
it's not like
yeah.
the whole thing is rigid and just one can moving. Like even the cans on like the row right under and right under that, they also move a little bit, and it's like, bro, like
Yeah.
this attention to detail is like, how do you even like keep track of like what you just shot, or like if you moved it the correct amount, or like do you take a picture of that scene and then you go look at it, you're like, oh no, I moved it way too much, and then what if you're just taking pictures and then you go back and you're like, oh shit, I missed like the 4 frames, like that must be so grueling of a like task.
That's so true because I was actually thinking the same thing. Like, how much of this is trial and error, and how much of it is like they're just a master at their craft, so they
That's
do it
true.
right the first time. But I can't imagine fucking up because I would be pulling my hair out. Fuck this! Like, come on.
The claymations were only 10 centimeters tall, so they were pretty
Really?
tiny. Yeah. And like they had like weird eyes. Like
Yeah, their eyes
their
were
eyes were
super
kind of
creepy.
creepy. Yeah. But like
Yeah,
that's what's
very
kind of
creepy.
cool with like stop and I feel like with a lot of stop motion are always like creepy characters. Like
Yeah, you gotta be a little fucked up in the head to want to do stop motion
yeah, to want
animation.
to take one picture of a frame at
Yeah,
a time.
I worked
Yeah.
on this for 25 hours.
Wait, how long
And
is
then,
it? 2 seconds? Wait,
two
what?
seconds. I worked on this one shot for 3 months.
Wait, have you seen iCarly?
Yes.
Did you remember that episode where Spencer is making a
Yeah.
stop motion movie?
Yeah.
He's like working on it for like 2 weeks or however long he's working on it, and then he has like a massive premiere for everybody to watch it. And it's like a 5 second, like the mouse
Yeah.
moves like 2 feet. Like, that's all I think about when I see stop motion now. So when I was watching this film, I was like, bro, it probably took forever to make this one scene. Like, probably takes like a week just to make a 1 minute. 12 frames per second, 12 times
That's why
60. Like,
I
damn.
wasn't I wasn't tripping about this movie being only 1 hour because I'm like, yeah, I probably would cap it at that too. I would not want to do a whole 2 hour stop motion film. That would be hell.
But like, what would you say is the theme of this movie? Like orphanage sucks. Like, yeah, we know.
No,
Like, I know it's not that, but like,
yeah.
what would you
My
think it is?
personal opinion would be that it's kind of like it's not one single thing. Like it's more of a complex like situation that describes the whole overall experience of what they went through. Kind of like what does it look like to explore your trauma with other people and then also make the best of your situation, you know? kind of like that. That's what I got from it. Like what happened in this movie and what came out of it is kind of the meaning of it. Because sometimes it's not like a theme. It's more like what's the idea of the film, and like
Yeah.
what are they trying to explore? Because sometimes it's like in our pieces, what are we trying to look at, and and then also have a resolution in the end. And so I thought they explored trauma and childhood trauma very well because I thought they, I think, if you look at the bully character, I think that's a very accurate depiction of how younger children deal with trauma. Like to them, it's really nothing. They start calling him a potato head, even though they all are potato heads. Like they all got a potato head, but like I thought it was very accurate with the way children deal with these very traumatic experiences and the way the film navigated them to finding some resolutions and silver linings in their lives is what I think kind of is the purpose of exploring that little scenario.
Makes sense because, like you said, like what is the purpose of the movie? Like before these people make the movie, they have to be like, all right, like what are we making this movie about and for what? Like,
Yeah.
and there had to be like maybe this couple, 2 or 3 liner of like, all right, we're gonna do a movie about the troubles of kids in orphanage and the traumas that
Yeah.
come with it and how they cope with it and what is resolution and how they come out the other end like happy or whatever. And so
Yeah.
like I get that. So if that's the theme, okay, like I get it. Like
You'll take it.
I like okay, it makes sense, I guess. Like cool.
Yeah, and I bet you they had to do research too into how psychologically children react and interact with each other because it seemed believable to me. Like a lot of it was very realistic in a way.
Yeah, it seemed like insider knowledge, like maybe
Yeah,
the director or somebody he knew was like an orphan or something, or
yeah. Like if it seemed very like this was from someone's personal experiences.
how many
How many
courgettes,
courgettes? Courgettes?
how many courgettes. Oh, let me say it in French because I took 2 years of French.
Okay, go ahead.
Et toi, comment numéro un à deux
No way. Are you actually?
courgettes?
Damn.
Yeah,
You don't have to say it again. Just that was good. First try.
first try off the dome,
First
boy.
try off the dome. That's
Someone
crazy.
fact check me. Make sure I said it right. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I
Any
said like
French
two
people
things.
listening?
I know I said 2 things right. That's everything else. I don't know.
How many courgettes? I'd have to give it. I want to give it an 8 because, um, personally, that's how much I was emotionally affected. But like
Wow.
critically, as a critic, I just have to give it a 9 out of 10.
A nine
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just highly
Wow.
respect all aspects of what they did because when it comes to the stop motion animation, it was beautifully done. They had beautiful shots. I thought the story and the way they explored it was extremely grounded, realistic, and they found a good resolution that was very satisfying to me. And I think that's what they were going for. So 9 out of 10, they achieved with what they aimed to do.
My score is gonna sound like I'm a shitty person,
It's okay, bro. You
bro.
don't have to like a movie. There's no rules that
Dude,
you have to like a movie.
bro, people will be like,
Shit
dude,
on
it's
it.
about orphanage and the kids and the trauma, you heartless
You're
freaking
about to be like, fuck
being,
them
bro. I'm
kids.
getting canceled, bro. I'm getting canceled for my rating. Dude, it's
You
hard.
don't even want to say it. You don't want to pick on these little
Bro, I'm
orphans.
giving this movie 4 zucchinis out of 10, bro. Like, I
Oof.
I think it's like okay. Like, I don't think I'd want
This
to
is
show
going.
any.
This is going in the secret pods next to all your other racist rants.
I don't think I'd want to show anybody this movie. Like
Really?
I'm not like so like yes, you have to watch this movie about orphanage and the troubles they go through. Like for a theme movie, to be like understand these orphanages. Like I'm not too compelled versus like a theme movie like Millennium Actress, where like the theme is always chase your dreams no matter what. Like
Yeah.
a theme like that feels a lot more, reasonable to share a movie that's about a theme. Like this one is like I watched it and I think the only reason I'm giving it a 4 is because I really did like the stop animation. So I mean, I guess I'll bump it up to a 5 because I'll just
No,
give
no, no,
half.
no, no, no.
I'll give
Hold your
half of
ground. Hold your ground.
I'll give all my ratings. So half of them, like, because half of the movie is the visuals, half of it's the story. Like, I'll give half of it to the
True.
stop animation because I told you I was paying attention to the details. Like the way that he was like wrapped up in a blanket looks so soft. Like they had a scene where he's walking with a flashlight. I'm like, how did they have this guy walking around with a flashlight? Like, how did they even do that? So. I think the stop animation was pretty nice, but again, the
Yeah.
story, like I get it, but for me, and that's why I feel so heartless, bro. Like I didn't like at the
You're
end,
so
like
fucked up. You're so fucked up, bro. These
bro,
are
like
orphans. Little orphan kids.
fuck them kids, bro. No, but like at the end, like I get what they were doing, but I didn't feel like
Yeah,
so sad.
if it didn't connect, bro,
And that's where I
don't
feel, am
feel
I
guilty
messed
about
up,
that.
bro?
Don't feel
Like,
guilty about that.
am I messed up for not caring about these little orphans, bro? It's not that I don't know. That's just what I say. I didn't feel connected, and they did the story good, and I could see what they were trying to do, and like I feel like they went the route like pretty good and like trying to do things, but like I just didn't really care,
Just
and
didn't break through to you.
like not to me at least, and maybe it
Yeah.
was because it was stop animation and it took, I don't know, like maybe that plays some part of it. I don't want to give excuses, but yeah, I'm gonna hold my ground. I'm gonna stay at 5 zucchinis out of 10, and
Official rating: Julian 5, Anthony 9.
let us know if you've seen this movie, if you agree with our rating, because they're on opposite sides of the spectrum. So
I'll agree with you though. I would not recommend this movie to someone else because it's just like I know the chances of them actually liking it as much as I did are very low. Like you got to be kind of like like if Tarantino was in front of me, I'd be like, yeah, you should see this movie. You'd probably like it because you're a film geek, a little film dork. But if you're not really into film like that, you most likely will not enjoy this movie.
especially coming off of a movie like The Prestige, bro. Like that's a movie I immediately
So
recommended.
if my life as a zucchini had magic, bro, you'd be like 10 out of
True.
10.
Bro, they spoke French, bro. Like I thought I was about to relate, dude. Like I thought I was gonna, I thought they were gonna say some stuff. I was gonna be like, hell yeah, la courgette. Like, I was ready. And then, so like coming off of a movie like The Prestige, where it's like I immediately recommend that movie to somebody. Like once the movie ends, I hop on the phone. We're watching this movie, like that,
Yeah.
and that's what deserved a 10 out of 10, bro. Like a movie that good. Even for you to give it a 9, like you should have seen my face, bro. I was like, a 9? What am I missing, bro? Like, maybe because Anthony has kids. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
Maybe like, that could be it.
I don't know. So what is the movie recommendation, bro? Because I feel like you hinted at it in the beginning, bro.
Yeah. So I have three
Yeah.
options. You know what? Two options, and I want you to choose. Okay.
This time, bro. Not forcing the pick. He's giving options.
Yeah, I'll give you options.
Usually we force the pick. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so Kevin Conroy, he started voicing Batman in the 19 in a 90s Batman series called Batman the Animated Series. And his voice is so iconic. He just recently passed away, but his voice is so iconic that he is unanimously praised as the Batman voice, like the absolute Batman voice out of all Batman. So they used him in all the Arkham games, in several animated movies that weren't connected to the animated series. Because if they had the chance to use him, he's the go-to. Like it legit in the history of cinema cannot get better than his voice as Batman. And so, along with him, though, in Superman the Animated Series, they had this guy who voiced Superman. His name is Tim Daly. And he is also so good as Superman. He's my favorite voice as Superman. I think he's just as good as Kevin Conroy is to Batman. I think Tim Daly is to Superman. There are other Superman voice actors who do just as good a job, but my favorite is Tim Daly. And so they did several animated movies together that have like different art styles, so they're not even connected. They just had the option to use them, so they're like, those guys are obviously the two best on the block. We got to use them. So there's two movies with those two actors, and they both star Batman and Superman. One is called Superman Batman Apocalypse, and the other is called Superman Batman Public Enemies.
I feel like the Public Enemy just sounds like badass, bro. Like, is it the typical Batman versus Superman? Like,
No. In both of these films, they are working together.
oh,
They are both wild art styles, but so Superman, Batman, Public Enemies is a very traditional, like, if you want to see Batman and Superman being best friends, but they also kind of bicker and work together, this movie is so satisfying for that. But at the same time, Superman, Batman Apocalypse has to do, it's a comic adaptation of their uh of one of Supergirl's introductions. So if you wanted to see Supergirl's traditional introduction on how she's usually brought into the story, that you can watch that. But Superman Batman Public Enemies is also a comic adaptation uh that I don't think I could spoil the plot for you really. You just have to see that one. But they're both fantastic. So if you want to flip a coin, we could flip a coin.
let's do a
Cause
first time pictures first, bro. Let's flip a coin for
okay,
either or. So, do you have a coin on you?
do you got a coin?
All right,
I have a
let's flip a
coin on
coin.
me.
Heads, Public Enemy, tails, the other one.
Tails, Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. Okay. So heads, Public Enemies, tails, Apocalypse. Heads.
Oh, heads. All right, we're doing Public
Yeah,
Enemy,
Superman,
right?
Batman, Public Enemies.
That's okay. That that's low key the one I wanted to do
Really?
anyways, because I was like, I I already saw Supergirl stuff. Like, give me some more new stuff. I need some of that
True,
new
true.
new. You
We
know?
gotta do the Apocalypse one though, because that one, the main villain is Darkseid, and he is portrayed really well in that movie. And he's voiced by Andre Brower from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and he's the best fucking Darkseid out of all the Darkseids to ever voice Darkseid.
Sounds like you want to do that, one, bro.
I do,
Should we
but
do that?
I love
Let's
both.
do that
I
one
love both
then.
of these movies equally. So I'm like, let's just accept Public Enemies because that movie is very good, and I would love to for you to hear those two iconic voices and their banter because you also get to see some Superman villains that I don't think you've seen before, and you'll get a straight up comic accurate version of all the villains in this movie. All right, guys, so tune in next time. We will be reviewing the animated movie Superman Batman Public Enemies starring Kevin Conroy and Tim Daly. Peace.
Peace.